After 120 hours on PlayStation, I have finally built out a golfer on the PlayStation 5. I have got all of the fittings I need, minus one for the putter, but I have gotten my baseline on where I want to start for my golfer. So I want to go over, what the build looks like on Powerhouse, but I also want to show you how this compares to the rhythm build that I built over on PC, so that you have a little bit of an idea of what you want to do. At this point, you've probably locked in, but you might want to pivot, or if you're new to the game coming in, this is kind of going to give you the place to start, I would say, for fittings. So first, I just want to run through the build that I have for my character. I pretty much just went straight power for a lot of things, because it's easy to start with a ton of power when you're working with Powerhouse. Now, with Powerhouse, right off the rip, you're going, even if you're putting a ton of, let's say, like you want to get a little bit of timing into it, power and timing are always working against each other. So if you take timing, you're more than likely going to lose power. So you really have to fine tune with the Powerhouse. You can't just take a straight power and lose some of the timing. So that's what I did. I got exactly to 100 power with these that I have. So you have to actually pull some of these. So the 3 power, 5 timing, you kind of have to get lucky on your pulls, because there isn't a balanced option when you exchange 3 of the legend fittings in. You can't choose balance. You have to choose what your main attribute, what do you want it to be? So if you go just straight power all the time, you're more than likely always going to lose timing. So for the Powerhouse build, I'd say it's actually kind of harder to fine tune it, because with the rhythm build, I could just go straight power, just take the plus 10s, plus 12s, and just build the power up, build the power up, build the power up, and just keep going that route. It's a little bit easier to get there, whereas with Powerhouse, you kind of have to fine tune it a little bit more to get the power where you want it without sacrificing all of your timing. But I got it to a straight 100. With exactly 100 power, I kept 65 timing and 65 swing path. Now, can I fine tune it a little bit more? Maybe, but I think that this is probably going to be where the driver sits to keep it at exactly 100. I would say if you're doing Powerhouse, you're more than likely going to be pretty good with your timing and swing path. At least I would only do Powerhouse if you're pretty decent with your timing and swing path, because it's a lot to come back from. You are sacrificing a ton when it comes to your timing and your swing path. For my woods, again, I went straight power. I want to be able to reach almost any par 5. That's either with the driver off the deck or with the 3 wood. So I still have, as you can see, a little bit more fine tuning to do. I have to wait for a drop again, because I can't take a power, because I'll lose all of my timing that I've gotten. So still a little bit more fine tuning to do here, but I just went straight power again, and then I just waited for everything else to kind of even itself out. Where transition, shaping, and lie range sit. Lie range, I'm not too worried about. Transition and shaping, I am worried about, just because of the way I have my bag set up. Transition is pretty big, especially having this 3 wood at a 267, but I can reach a lot of par 5s, and that's what I wanted. Now, something I decided to do a little bit different with the irons is actually boost up timing and take the hit to the power, which is what I did, because I wanted the best approach shot that I could have. Doing that, though, sacrifices a ton of power, and where that comes into play is with the 3 iron. So my 3 iron is 231 compared to my 3 wood, which is 267. So what this leads to is having a ton of partial shots with my 3 wood. That's why I took the additional transition, because that makes your power miss, your hit or your miss on your partial shots a little bit bigger. So I decided to take as much transition as I could with the 3 that I got on the one that I took myself, while having the power, because I do have to partial my 3 wood a ton. What that allows me to do, though, is to carry more timing, carry more swing path, and take the shaping. The shaping is actually huge with the irons, too, because it allows me to spin it. I can actually spin my irons at only 86 shaping. Fairly good out of the rough, even. There's some times where I've actually dug a ball out and I got it to stick out of the rough, where I'm just sitting there like, what? How the heck did I do that? But that has something to do with shaping, so That's what I've done. I want to do a little bit of a switcheroo where I take more timing and less swing path. That's going to be something that I'm going to be fine-tuning or trying to fine-tune to the best of my ability. Probably here, I'll probably take a little bit less power if I can take a little bit more swing or timing. So that's what I'm probably going to try to do with the fine-tuning that I do. But that was kind of my thought process with the irons. I wanted better timing. I wanted better swing path because approach shots are the most important shot. Coming into the green for the entire hole. It's one of the most important shots. Now, for my wedges, this is all about distance controlling. So on my irons, my pitching wedge goes 153. I didn't want a big gap in between where my pitching wedge and my gap wedge is. So I took a little bit more power to give myself a little bit better of a gap. I have a 10-yard gap there. So 14 yards, and a 10-yard between gap wedge and my pitching wedge. Now, if I take less power and take the timing, again, that just create a huge gap, which I'm not trying to do. So my thought process was try to do that gap as much as I can and then pitch everything else. Anything essentially under 100, I'd say 105. Anything under 105, I'm more than likely pitching it. But I wanted all of my full shots to have a good distance in between them because the last thing I wanted to do was have to partial all of my wedges or use extreme spin because that shrinks the tempo window. I didn't want to use extreme spin or extreme loft in order to get my distances down in between clubs. So I took a little bit more power. It was at the mercy of timing, unfortunately. But then I just took even everything else because I took transition because I'm doing a lot of partials, especially with like chips and flops and splashes. I took the shaping because I want to spin it. And I took the lie range because you're going to be using your wedges from, again, bunkers and rough. And you want to know what that lie range is a little bit better than normal. So I kind of evened out the rest. I just took the power in order to get the distances correct. I'll probably look to fine-tune to maybe take power down 1 or 2 to get it to like a 141, 140 on my gap wedge distance. So 2, maybe 3. Maybe 3 is where I will fine-tune to. And then finally for the putter, right now I have 2 down for it. I'm putting it all into putt weight. Putt path, I mean, you get punished. I just don't think it's really a ton. Ideal world, I would pull a legend putter head, and it would kind of maybe have both, but little. I would like to keep putt path in the 60s and putt weight in the 90s. I think on master, putt weight just means more because your power is very important, especially on like downhill putts. So I want that miss to be a little bit more forgiving. So I took all putt weight. If you're playing mainly on legend, I would say probably take a lot of putt path. I would try to make these as even as possible, really. And if you're playing on pro or below, I'd still go putt weight. I'd go a ton putt weight. Putt path just isn't as punishing as something like putt weight can be. And that's my build. It took me 120 hours to get all the way. So little disclaimer, if you're not looking to play 120 hours, I would just say just start putting stuff on. I would start at probably blue. I don't think I'd put any of the grays on. I don't think I'd put any of the greens on either. I'd probably start at blue if you're looking to put any on. You just got to be very careful because you don't want to spend too much of your virtual currency. And putting this on, especially on like irons, like putting it's like 1,000, I think it's 1,000 or 1,100 credits to put a fitting on every single club. So you have to pick and choose your battles on what you want to add in and what you don't. But something I do have the ability to kind of show you, since I have 2 builds, because I have one on PC and one on PlayStation, I can kind of show you the differences of the two and how they actually compare to each other. So on PC, my driver, I don't have full power. I would say the driver is probably the most like balanced for if you take rhythm and go all power, like you can see 92, 72, 76. I do have a purple, but 92, 72, 76. Whereas you compare it here, I took the power to 100 and I have 65, 65. So 100, 65, 65. The big thing is I took transition and shaping, and that just could be for some of the drops that I have. But if you take the power, the timing and the swing path kind of even themselves out with each other. So it doesn't really matter if you take rhythm or if you take powerhouse, because in the end, they kind of even out for the driver. Same with the wood. So for your woods on PC, I have 92, 73, 71. And then on PlayStation, 99, 66, 73. So again, they even out. If I were to take more power on PC, the timing would take a hit. Swing path would probably stay about the same, and I'd be about in the same exact region that I was before. And that theme kind of stays the same for the whole entire thing. They actually even out pretty well. It just depends on what you're wanting to start with and what you're not wanting to start with. Because everything, it evens out. So like on PlayStation, 86, 79, 89. On PC, I went a little bit more of the power. So I have 93, 72, 75. 93, 72, 77. I don't know if this means that archetypes, I don't want to say that they're pointless, because I think if you go like rhythm, you should just stick with getting more timing, more swing path. What I would like to see maybe in the future is maybe to see some caps. You know, if I choose rhythm, I shouldn't be able to get 100 power. But I think whatever you choose, you should just go with that. Like if you're wanting a lot of power, go powerhouse. Build out power, and then once you get to 100 or whatever power you're looking for, then slowly just like trade in legendary fittings as you see upgrades or downgrades or whatever it may be. As you get them, then trade them in. I'm to the point where I'm literally just deconstructing legendaries because I'm to the point where I need drops or exchanges. I can't trade in 3 of the orange, the 3 of the legendary fittings, because when I trade them in, it gives me like a 10 to 12 or an 8 to 12. I think it's 8 to 12, which would be good at the beginning, but now that I've already kind of gotten my distances where I want them, now I need those like middle of the road, the +3, +3, +4, +4. I need those now. So that's kind of what I'm shooting for now. But like I said, this follows a pattern. Like here's PC. I took a lot less power on PC, but I have a lot of timing, a lot of swing path, a lot of shaping. Whereas on PlayStation, I took a lot more power. I lose the timing. I lose the swing path. Everything becomes a little bit more evened out. One thing that I am crushing it, though, is the putter. So this is what I have on PlayStation, which I went over. And this is what I have on PC. Like, this is what I want on PlayStation. Like, look at that, 78 to 8 and 89. Like, that's wonderful. That's what I'm looking for over on PlayStation. I just need the drops for it. Something, though, that I just wanted to do real fast is I kind of want to show you, because people have asked, like, oh, what's the difference between taking a ton of timing compared to not taking a ton of timing? So I got about a 20-point spread between wedges on PC and PlayStation. So I just want to show you the difference between the two with a 20-point spread. And then I'll leave it up to you to decide on whether you want to take timing or just go all power. So this is mostly power. 92 power is what I got. I think it's somewhere in the 70s for timing, tempo. But this is what it is on PlayStation. And then on PC, which I took a ton of timing, it's in the 90s. That's what it is with that. Noticeable difference. I mean, a very, very noticeable difference. This is on master difficulty as well. So there's PC, ton of timing, and there's PlayStation, not a lot of timing. I wanted to show Pro too, because there, again, is quite a large difference. Here is Pro difficulty for PlayStation and PC. Again, quite a sizable difference. And not only does that difference give you the additional ability to not have dark gray fasts, but it also makes your misses less extreme. So when you miss your tempo, if that gray region is smaller, so if you take less timing, then your misses will be further. So instead of like maybe a 2-yard miss to the left with a slightly fast tempo, like with my PC character, with the same exact tempo for PlayStation character, it will miss a little bit further because of that. Because it kind of just goes along a scale within that whole zone. There's perfect, which is it'll go where you want it, and then it just scales out either left or right for fast and slow. So, moral of the story, all right, to all of this is archetypes don't really mean anything. They even out pretty much in the end. Pretty close, I would say. They even out pretty close in the end. But what they do is they give you a leg up for what you are looking for. So if you're looking for, I want power. That is all I want. I want power. I want to maximize power. It gives you the leg up to get that a little bit quicker. It allows you to maximize that power. But if you're like, my timing sucks, I need to get that thing to 100, then, you know, take the rhythm. It gives you the leg up so you can build it up to 100 as quickly as possible and then start fine-tuning it after that. Because that's what I suggest you do. Whatever you're wanting to maximize, maximize it as quickly as possible. Just get it to where you want it and then fine-tune from there is what I would do. So if you're wanting 100 power, get 100 power. Even if you go over, who cares? 107, whatever it may be. You can't, it caps at 100, but whatever it may be, just get it up there and then fine-tune from there to get it down to like the exact 100 or the exact 92 power or whatever you're looking for. It just gives you a leg up, but in the end, Archetypes, there's really no like meta builds because they even out in the end. And that's it. Just wanted to give you guys an update on the bag because I know you guys, I mean, I get this question asked a ton. Like, bag update, how's the bag coming along on PlayStation? What are you doing? What are your fittings looking like? So I wanted to answer that for you, but also wanted to kind of give you a little bit of a side-by-side between two different builds and hopefully give you just a little bit more information on what build you're wanting to go with. That's it for me today. Thank you so much for stopping by. I greatly appreciate it. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed this content. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. More PGA 2K content coming. We have EA Sports too. I want to do some other stuff that's probably going to be coming to the channel here soon. Maybe some 2K5, like NFL 2K5. It's probably going to be coming. If that interests you at all, make sure to sub. Comment down below. You know what archetype are you going for? What are you maximizing? Are you just doing like me for PlayStation, just maximizing the power, getting that as high as you can? Because, I mean, power is king. Or do you need a little bit more of a balanced? You can do that too. With all of these archetypes, you can balance it all out if you'd like. Hope you have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, though, wherever you are in the world. And I will catch you on the next one.